So welcome, Dinner with Dana. This one's kind of actually what's in the fridge. I had done a crock pot meal of chicken breast because I was going to be gone. Well, it ran longer than it should have. The chicken got kind of dry. So now I have chicken, but I need to do a little bit something else with it to make it moister and more tasty. I'm going to make hot cheesy chicken sandwiches. So if you look here, I'm just taking a stalk of celery, just a little bit of onion. I'm actually having a friend over for lunch, and she's not a big onion fan, so I'm going to add some onion powder for that flavor, but not a lot of the onion. So I'm going to put that in there, and I'm just going to let it cook up a little bit. This is actually a remake of a crock pot recipe. So the crock pot had you put it all in the crock pot and let it sit for 3 to 4 hours while it cooked. Since I'm not using a crock pot, I need to make sure that these vegetables lose their crunch. So I want to make sure that they're not going to be like biting into a raw onion. So I'll get that going. I'm going to just move it over on the other burner so you can see what I'm doing here. And now I'm going to just chop up. I have about 4 chicken breasts, and like I said, they got dry. Flavor was okay. They just need a little moisture to them. So I'm going to just chop up the 4 of them. And chicken breast is not necessarily the best thing to use in your crock pot. So you'll want to use beef, hamburger even. Chicken thighs are better than chicken breast. Even some pork loin, although that can get dry too. A pork roast does really well with a bone in it. But when you take out the bone and you just have the meat, it can get really tricky. Things can get really dry really quickly. So if you have, like I had friends saying how they hated Thanksgiving. Well, they didn't hate Thanksgiving. They had their one piece of dry, icky turkey, and then they ate everything else instead of the dry, icky turkey. To combat that, I brine my turkey, so I put it in salt water and let it soak overnight, at least usually 24 hours or so. And that would have helped this chicken breast too. So had I taken the chicken breast out and brined it even for 15-20 minutes, and all I would have to do is get some cold water in a bowl, put in half a cup of salt to a cup of salt, and let it sit for even 15 minutes longer is better. So if I were to do that, it would definitely be a lot moister. That salt interacts with it and helps hold in that moisture. So you see that it's kind of flaking apart. So this is going to be almost like a chicken salad sandwich, but it's going to be hot and cheesy. So I got my chicken in there. And I'm going to add 3/4 cup of milk, which is about all I have in there. So I didn't measure it, but it is 3/4 cup of milk. And 3/4 cup of mayonnaise. We're going to see if that seems like it's moist enough. We're just going to heat that through before we add in our cheese. I could have used cream cheese in here. That would have added another flavor to it as well. But since I want to try to keep to the chicken salad flavor, the mayo will do that for me. There's different recipes out there. There's cracked chicken. That's a cream cheese and your chicken breast in the crock pot. If you're doing chicken in the crock pot, just chicken breast, you do need to make sure you're adding enough moisture to keep it good and something you want to eat. So, get that heating through. And I have 3 cups of cheese. So we're going to add a lot of cheese. That's going to cover a multitude of sins that happened with my chicken. I don't want to throw it out. So, sometimes when you make a mistake, it's just as easy. You can come back and make something else out of it and make it better. But not always. Sometimes. most of the time you can. If you've ever made something where you're like, oh, I ruined the whole thing, give us a comment. What did you make that didn't turn out so well? My latest thing that did not turn out so well, besides the chicken, would have been my bean soup. So I thought I would try my bean soup with a white beans and black beans. Black beans change the flavor. They're a different texture. I'm adding some salt and pepper here. And then it didn't have enough flavor, and I'm like, well, let me try a little cumin. Got way too much cumin. Honestly, I couldn't figure out how to fix it, so I did end up ruining that meal. I couldn't pull anything out of it. For this chicken, though, I should be able... this should make an excellent filling for bread. So I'm going to put you on hold while I get that out and put together a couple sandwiches here and then the rest of the meal, and I'll be right back. All right, so here we are. I've toasted my buns. Now you want to make sure and do that because they just add that nice crunch when you have a sandwich. And I'm going to say you could cut back on the cheese after I made this. There's a lot of cheese. So I'm just going to pile that up on my sandwich, top it off, and there's our, it's the wrong time of day to be doing this. I got it right in the sun. There, how about that? There's our cheesy chicken sandwich on a toasted bun with carrots and apples. So I'm going to go, my friends here, we're going to grab some lunch, and thanks for watching again. This was What's in the Fridge, Dinner with Dana. I kind of combine both of those together. We're What's Cooking SuFu, meal planning services, cooking videos, deal alerts, tips and tricks on cooking. Sign up today for our newsletter and we can get some meal plans out to you. Have a great day.